Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Royal Verge from tennis player Petros Chrysochos in collaboration with designer Destino. Now, you may recognize Destino's name. He's worked on a few other decks before, perhaps most notably the Hannya decks that he did in collaboration with Damian O'Brien. So really cool, elegant set of decks, and so I was excited to see what he came up with Royal Verge. Now, this deck is inspired by sort of a Victorian era vibe, very classic deck overall, but also has some themes of time throughout. The tuck itself is a deep purple. You can kind of see it there at the top. It's hard to see on the rest of the tuck because it's covered with foil over almost every inch of the front of the tuck. Of course, the main feature is this sort of gold circle with little flourishes and scroll work, and then a nice radiant pattern, almost like a glowing sun in the center of the deck. You have the banner in white foil, hard to see, but that is kind of a foiled look on there. But the banner says Royal Verge, name of the deck. And then you have the borders complete with really intricate leaf work down the side there. Top, you've got premium playing cards. Bottom, made in Belgium and premium quality. These are printed by Cardamundi. Then you have the hourglass there at the bottom. On the sides, you've got Royal Verge playing cards on one side with a couple hourglasses, and on the other side, produced by Delt Company. On the bottom here, you have your ad copy, mentions Destino as well as Cardamundi and the Delt Company. And then on the top, just says Royal Verge playing cards. The back here is going to be a foiled and embossed version of the back of the cards. We'll look at more of the details in a second, but really nice foiling and embossing here. I will say, some of the finer details do get lost in the foiling. Like if we zoom in really close here, you can see that we're going for some really intricate lines there, but it kind of gets a little bit lost in the light in some angles. That said, it's a really nice job with the foiling on the tuck. The embossing just adds that extra little feel. So really nicely done. Inner flaps here, you have a Latin saying, Sic mundus creatus es, which translates to, thus the world was created. And then lots of extra little flourishes throughout, and then nothing printed on the other flaps or the interior of the tuck, but you can't see that deep purple color there. So nice tuck case, but let's get into the cards, and we'll start with the back design. And here it is. It is continuing that purple, a little bit of a lighter purple on these compared to the really dark of the tuck case, but features a really nice back design dominated by the two clocks on the top and the bottom. Both of them have the kind of Roman numerals, very Victorian inspired and very ornate face to the clock, and it's pointing to 9 p.m. All the cards are the same. 9 p.m., according to Destino, was the time that he was working when he came up with the idea of using the clock, and so that's why it's showing 9 o'clock there. But really beautiful scroll work and detail work all the way around. Just a really beautiful, intricate design. You've got the kind of leaf or vine work over here, this radiant pattern in the center, just really beautiful. Finishes out with a thin white poker border. So really nice. It is an almost two-way back design. The only element that makes this a one-way back design, at least the only element I could find, is the hourglass here in the center. And you'll see it's got the sand flowing, so it's not quite a two-way back design. Now, interestingly enough, this is a marked back to the deck. And I think it's really interesting how they did it, because the minute you say it's a marked deck, the first thing your eyes want to go to is, well, let's check out that clock. That's the suspicious part with the face of the clock. But that is not where the marking system's hidden at all. It's actually in these dots up here and these dots over here. So these dots are used to indicate the rank, and these are used to indicate the suit. And I'll show a little bit more of how that's done. But I think it's a really interesting choice to do with a marked deck, just because it's one of those where, like, you don't think it's a marked deck, then you do, then you don't, then you do. You immediately want to check out that clock, and you won't find anything suspicious there whatsoever. So it's almost like it's hidden by obscuring it with this like really obvious clock. I think it's kind of an ingenious way to hide the marking system personally. But nice, easy to read marking system. That's the back design. Now, extra cards, you do get a couple of jokers. They feature this kind of ethereal looking hand here. Almost looks like it's wearing a lace glove because of that scroll work on it. And the hand is holding purple knock there, just a plain purple card with a radiant pattern around it. It says Royal Verge playing cards made in Belgium, and has Joker in black in the corners. And then the second Joker, same design, but you get a 3 of clubs reveal in the center. There's your 2 jokers. You do get 1 extra card that gives more detail of the marking system, mentioning that you've got the value through a binary system, and then the filled in dots will tell you which suit each one of the cards is. So you can use those 2 areas. Nice, easy reference cards so you can remember how to read the marking system. And you get an extra 6 of hearts. So there's extra cards. Now into the rest of the cards, and starting with the Ace of Spades. Really large spade pip in the center. The outer frame of it is this whole series of flourishes and leaf work, just really ornate patterns surrounding it all the way around. Have Royal Verge nice in the center, and then premium playing cards made in Belgium. You get a slightly custom font and pip in the corner, maybe a little bit fatter, rounder of a pip, but otherwise pretty familiar, easy to read pip and index in the corner. The number cards are all going to be pretty basic, nothing too special on the pips. They are slightly custom, but nothing too out of the ordinary. And as you get to some of the higher numbers, you do get a little bit of a custom layout. You'll see from the 7 on up, you get a little bit more unique layout of the pips from what you're used to, but otherwise pretty standard number cards. And then into the courts, and the courts are both familiar but completely redrawn at the same time. You do get the royalty theme. I mentioned it was kind of Victorian era inspired, but you do get completely redrawn courts done in this purple, white, and black. Very kind of fine lines on the faces. They're holding, kind of unique things on some of them, like the Jack of Spades here holding a hatchet. And they're all surrounded by the flourishes and leaf work going all the way around to kind of give them an extra little frame. Really nicely done court cards. I'm a big fan of these. I think they're well done 2-way courts. Now, getting into the hearts, all of the aces are going to be sort of these fancy, larger pips with the extra details around them. Number cards going to be pretty basic with a deep red on those. And then the courts are going to be very similar design and coloring to what we looked at before, but each one is kind of a unique character in itself. And then into the clubs, there's your Ace of Clubs. And through those, some nice club courts. The King of Clubs here is the Suicidal King. Traditionally, it's the diamonds. And then there's your Ace of Diamonds down through the number cards, and finishing with the 3 courts. So there are the cards. As far as handling, this is on Cardamundi's slimline stock with the B9 linen finish. Absolutely great set of cards in my mind for handling. They handle great. They're thin, snappy cards. Just a really unique finish. I'm a huge fan of the Cardamundi B9 finish for handling. So these are going to handle absolutely great in fans, cuts, everything. No complaints at all. Deck overall, I think it's a really nice deck. I think it's one that would be really suitable for Magic and gameplay more than anything. It's a really nice, familiar deck. A lot of beauty going on in the back. I should pause and say, look, gameplay, if you're going to use a mark deck, maybe not for gameplay. So I'll say it's familiar enough styling for gameplay, but that mark back obviously keeps it back from gameplay. So I'll check myself on that one. But for Magic, I think it'd be a great deck, and it's just a nice deck to have in the collection. So not too bad. So that's the look at the Royal Verge. Hope you guys enjoyed that look at this one from Kickstarter. All right, thanks for watching. Let me know what other decks you want to see. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings. And with that, I'll see you for the next one.